Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at the High Grade Build Divers or Eldora Daughtress. And of course, like it says from High Grade Build Divers or, this is from Gundam Build Divers Re. Once again, when it comes to a premium Bandai release like this right here, and you can tell it's a premium Bandai release from that grayed out box, this video would not be possible without those absolutely fantastic people over at Bai. So if you do want an Eldora Daughtress of your own, check out the link down there in the description. And as usual, if you are a new sign-up, you will get 1,000 yen off your first order. Now here we go. So anyway, that right there is what the Eldora Daughtress looks like out of the box, just snapped together with the stickers attached. And I did do a bit of panel lining, which I'll talk about in a minute, but as usual with these reviews, I'm going to take off, all of the equipment first, and we'll take a look at the robot without anything equipped. So this right here is the high-grade Eldora Daughtress just snapped together without its equipment. And you might be like, what exactly is a Daughtress? So while the finished model kit is spinning around on the left there so you can see all 360 degrees of its high-grade glory, I'm going to pop up a picture here on the right of what it looked like in the anime. That of course is the Eldora Daughtress that we're talking about today, but like I just mentioned, you might be like, what exactly is a Daughtress? So the Daughtress, which now you're seeing on the right hand side there, is actually a mass-produced mobile suit from After War Gundam X. And I will also mention that there is no high-grade kit of this available right now, so once again this is that weird thing that's happening with Gundam Build Divers kits, that a Build Divers variant is coming out before the standard variant. I guess the best example of that right now would be the high-grade Justice Knight coming out before the high-grade Infinite Justice. So that's definitely odd. Maybe it's to push units, or maybe it's to get excitement ramped up for the standard high grades or something like that. Not sure. But either way, it's pretty cool, and hopefully we will get a standard release of the high grade Daughtress. Moving on. So anyway, as for a bit of a commentary on the build, this is the simplest high grade I've built in a long time. It's very old school. It's not even like the fine build kits we would have seen for other grunts recently. So it's not like the Leo or the Maganak, or any of those kits that have the kind of 30-minute missions-ish joints. This is actually just super old school high grade right here. It's absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but it is incredibly simple. So of course that does mean it is solid as a rock. I mean seriously, that is the instructions for the head there. 2 panels, and 1 is for stickers. And speaking of the stickers, this kit does come with quite a large sticker sheet for a high grade. A lot of them, at least the ones you can see that I've used right here, are all reflective stickers. So these aren't color correcting stickers, so those are hard to pull off with paint, etc. So I did use those. As for the color correcting ones, these black ones here are for on the shield. Same goes to this black one right here. And the gray bits, those are for up on the head. But I think it looks pretty cool just the way it is. So as for the stickers I did add, what we have are these reflective ones up on the head. These are quite difficult to apply because of the kind of surface they apply to, so it is a bit angular inside of there. So your best friends for applying these kind of stickers are a Q-tip or a cotton bud, depending on what you call them, and a toothpick. Use the toothpick to hold it in place, put it exactly where you want it, and then push it on with the Q-tip. It's soft, so it will make sure it pushes nicely around the angles that are in there that you don't want to, well, obscure with the sticker, and it's soft enough that it won't mark up the surface. Those little red bits on the face, those are stickers too. Those are reflective as well. They are a metallic sticker, but it's kind of hard to get that on camera. And the biggest reflective one is this one here on the shield. I did not use the stickers for on the shield. I find it easier, more effective, and looks better to just use a black panel lining pen. That would be this one right here, which is just your standard Gundam marker. These are the greatest. I've literally had this one black pen since I left Japan almost 3 years ago, and I use it on most kits. Actually, I've got a black and a gray, and these things last forever. So I basically just scribbled it inside that line, and it looks beautiful. As the Eldora Daughtress is made out of a dark plastic, that means those typical knobs are everywhere. So Bandai's dark plastic can mark a little bit when you are snipping off those knobs. I did no cleanup whatsoever, but it still looks not too bad. This is a nice soft plastic, so you won't have any issue cleaning that up nicely. But this is a simple, cheap kit, so Bandai made no effort to hide them whatsoever. So they're on the surface, need some cleanup, but it's not all that bad. And finally, as for a size comparison, in case you don't know how big a Gundam X Grunt is, there it is beside a couple of standard sized Gundams. So it's in around standard height, but doesn't have a whole lot going on it, so it does look a little bit, well, plain, I guess. But anyway, let's move on to the accessories. And yeah, this is it. So now moving on to the accessories, and here is the high-grade Eldora Daughtress with absolutely everything that it comes with, which really isn't a whole lot. Basically, it's just that shield and this wild gun right here. This thing is unique. Now let's check them out. So first up in here is the shield. We already took a brief look at this. It's just in grey. It's got that sticker there that actually fits quite well, so it doesn't stand out too much. I did panel line that black line, but there is black stickers if you prefer to use those. And around back, this is what is going on. So we have a standard peg for attaching into the forearm, and we've got this little fold out handle here, which is simple and effective. So when it comes to gunpla shields in general, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. This just slides into the hand like this, and then that peg attaches into the forearm like that for a super firm hold. So in general, this kit right here is built like a mini tank. Now onto that wild gun. So this right here is one of the craziest weapons I've ever seen, but the one thing I will mention about it before I mention anything else is this right. Oh. Anyway, this right here is Nub City. I mean, just check out all of these. Once again, I don't clean up the nubs for these reviews. I know some of you guys don't like that, but I want to keep it as clear as possible how much work you will have to put into these kits. So this will take a lot of extra cleanup to get those little guys out of the picture. Besides that, we've got another sticker right here for the lens in that. That's another one of those metallic purple stickers. And this thing is crazy. The biggest letdown for this is those little circles there at the end. Those are meant to be purple, just like a lot of the other segments of this kit, but they did not include stickers with this. Of course, if you are a hardcore modeler, you're going to be painting all of this, so that is no big deal. But if you like to straight build your kits, that might be a bit of a disappointment. For example, this is what this looks like right here, and right there is what it looks like in the instructions. So I don't understand, if they included all the stickers for the shield, on the eyes, etc., why not these four as well? That's so weird. And by weird, I mean weird bad. But as for some weird good, this thing is crazy. So I'm going to attach it into the hand first. It just slots in the way things tend to slot in into the hand like that. No problem whatsoever. I will mention these are the only hands that come with the kit, so there is no posed or expressive hands in here, just the standard blocky holding hands. But what this can do is pretty fun. So first off, this is a rotatey blasty cannon, so it can actually spin at this point here if you want to recreate that spinning beam Gatling kind of thing. And by the way, this is called a multiple barrel rifle. I forgot to mention that. It is a rifle with multiple barrels, but the coolest aspect is the fact that this can open up. So it's got 2 points of articulation, one here and one here, which allows it to open up into this claw type structure. Of course, the inside there is not the most, well, prettiest looking thing around. I assume it's meant to look like, I don't know. To me, hollow parts tend to be just cut corners, but there is something kind of gnarly and evil looking about all of that, like it could chew you up, but apparently this is for a bigger focused blast from that little bit of a squid beak in there. Anyway, finally there is the high-grade Eldora Daughtress up on a shelf, fully equipped, so you can see what it looks like in a collection. Once again, a bit of a disclaimer right here. These are mainly master grade, so that does kind of work against a high grade, but it's the only place I have to film it, so it's gonna have to do. Anyway, it does look really nice for a very simple little high-grade kit. It's kind of awesome in its simplicity. Everything about it is strong, stocky, bulky in the right kind of way, and it's an extremely, extremely unique looking kit. So far, so good. So now moving on to the last segment of the review, and as usual, that is the articulation. I did mention about the build already. It is solid as a rock, which is what you would expect from a small, stocky, simple little high grade like this. So the neck is the standard double ball jointed polycap we normally get. So there's the giggity 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 goo. There's the up, down, all the way around, and side to side. So not a whole lot really. Just as simple at the shoulders here. It's just your polycap ball and socket. The polycap is aligned to move up and down instead of the usual back or forward. So that is interesting. There it is up, there it is down. As for the movement we get out of that, there is the arm raised all the way up, so pretty good. The usual 360 degrees there. Full spin here at the upper arm. Nice, simple bend at the elbow. And the wrist is your typical ball and socket. I forgot to mention earlier on, but there's a wicked seam line in the forearm there. As for the ab crunch, it's that typical double ball jointed waist. So there is a polycap ball in there. I came off with this. So there's a polycap ball here, one below. It doesn't really give us a whole lot. So there's to the front and off. There's the other ball, by the way. So we get like this right here. So not a whole lot. And side to side is even less. As for the rotation, it gets stuck at that point. So it's there to there, very limited. As for the front skirting armor, it moves up and down like so, just simple ball joints. The side skirting armor is, once again, that typical polycap that you usually get in simple kits, so that should move to the back and front like so. And then we've got the basic paralyzed butt flap. Inside the waist here, we've got that rocking side to side little gimmick in here, which is the huge for high grades like this. And when it comes to the kicks, there it is all the way up to the front. So, well, what more could you want? Out to the back, I expect a bit less, yeah, because of that paralyzed butt flap. And move the side skirting armor back out of the way to see if we can get the full splits, and pretty much, yes we can. We've got that full spin at the upper leg. Next up then is that double jointed bend at the knee, but that doesn't really get us a whole lot, does it? That is quite lacking. And speaking of lacking at the ankle, it's just a single ball joint. So up, down, side to side. And this armor can move ever so slightly, but not really all that much at all. But let's check out that functional movement on the ground. So we're going to try and see what kind of articulation we have with this without lifting the foot off the ground. So there it is all the way to the back. So not great. All the way to the front. Not the greatest either. And then that side to side pivot is, whoa, that's bad. So Posing Master, the Eldora Daughtress, is not. It is very simple, it's lacking in a lot of places, but it is a grunt suit and it is a very simple build, so there isn't really much more you could have expected from a kit like this. So that right there is it for the review, and this is simple, stocky, and solid, but it does feel like some old tech, this right here. With all the releases we've been getting recently with the fine build system, etc., those kits have all felt a little bit more, well, interesting than this right here. This has a lot of visible knobs you'll need to clean up. It's got some wicked seams in the forearms as well as up the side of the head, and in general it just feels, well, super old. So that nets this kit right here, the high-grade Eldora Daughtress, a bronze tier ranking. It's not too bad, it's nice. If you really want this kit, I'd say go for it. But if you're on the fence, I would say maybe give it a miss. It's a very meh kit, but it does have a very unique, interesting design. If you're a fan of Afterwar Gundam X and just wondering if you could customize this into a standard Daughtress, I say wait a while and see what happens. You may actually end up getting this kit. But if you're a die-hard Build Divers or fan and you just have to have this in your collection, I say totally go for it. And as usual, if you do want one of your own, you can get one through Buy. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I will see you next time.